Alrighty, here we go. Another day. Still breathing. So got the heater on out here for the cats. A little chilly this morning. Gotta still cut this up. Got a big day today. It's pretty nice. It was crappy yesterday, so we didn't get anything done. But today's a new day. It's just beautiful here today. So this is going to the dumpster. I'll show you a little bit of what I've been working on in the yard. And I got to get some stuff pulled out today. I got some emails. Sometimes, you know, stuff gets lost. And Andrea gets the email and she doesn't read it to me right away because if I'm having a bad day, she doesn't, you know. Anyway, I think a lot of you guys should know. I mean, I pushed the record button and that's a good 15 or 20 minutes out of my day, usually, lately. And it turns out I got some sort of a brain injury. They're trying to figure out what's going on. I'm going to go to the hospital tomorrow and get some stuff done. And I got more testing in a couple of weeks, but I forget stuff. And somebody wanted a cylinder head. So I'm going to dig that out today and ship that off. Somebody wants a Volkswagen cylinder head for something. But here you go. That was empty the other day again. And trying to make headway here. But I got some more of this wood pile to get in there. So we'll do that today. And then Hans is going to help me move the cars around. I got to get the Bronco and the red Mustang back here. And I got to get the blue Mustang and the bus pulled out. Had somebody that was interested in buying the bus, so I'm going to go ahead and paint the two panels and probably blend the door in the back quarter that got damaged. I already have the materials for that. And then the Mustang, we need to put some tires on it, fuel pump, and some O2 sensors. And either drive it or put that up for sale. There's the 240 project. It's sitting back here. He doesn't do much to it. He wants to change the color. So we'll probably paint that again. And yeah, so I don't know. He's hard-headed, so I have to live with him. Some of you guys just argue with him online. So I guess there was a discussion over closed loop or map tuning. And I agree completely with my subscriber that's trying to convince him into buying a map setup where you can go in and adjust everything and open loop, closed loop, whatever you want to do. But he's friends with them guys at Ajiko, and they assure him they can tune his computer where he can make the power he wants, and they're sort of helping him out. So you only have so much influence with kids anymore these days. So here's some more shit. That's scooters. He's got to come pick that up. Apparently he's got a title for that. And there's the bumpers for the Nova. The front one's still decent, which is good because the back one, I have a new one. Got to stuff that tailgate in the Bronco. And here's this hood I was telling you guys about. I left out here and it bubbled the gel coat up. So that's for the Mustang. That's brand new. We got to fix that. Threw some stuff out through here. All those big planters and stuff I had. Then I got to move this front clip. This is for the Ventura project. It's got all new trim, grill, headlight rings. And we'll use that on the Ventura out back. So, got to do something with this parts washer. So I'm just going to chuck that one and get a different one. The pump went out on it and the stuff's really dirty. We got to get this rear end. Maybe today we'll take that apart and get into that, because I got to make that car roll so we can move it. And back to the shop. Stand by the heater. Sort of cold in Florida today. I don't know what it is out there, but it's chilly. I'm going to pull some of the hardware off these doors, the handles and stuff. Mainly the clips. The handles are sort of burned up. But the clips and stuff that hold the handle, all the hardware I can take off of these and chuck those. And then I'm going to... Hans said he's going to pull the exhaust off of this, and if he does, we can cut it right through here. Right at the quarter panel seam there. I'm going to cut it across the floor and pretty much clean it right at the seam and clip this back half of the car onto the other car. The other car has a lot of damage in the frame rails. I don't know what happened there. Something fell on it for sure. Saw blade probably. And then we got the old Volkswagen here that Andrea picked up. So she wants to paint this thing purple. I'm not down with the purple, but I told her to pick a different color. And now she's like, oh, I don't want the car if it can't be purple. So I don't know. Probably gonna try to sell this in stock form for a few days. I don't know. I'll kick it around for a while, and then I'll do something, convince her into a different color or whatever. It needs a paint job. It's got little things like crack there. It's just going to continue to go down. And then where they had those stickers on the side of the car, there's a little damage on the other side. It's got a few little dings, and it had a shitty red paint job on top of it. They painted the button and some of the trim, and it just needs to be cleaned up. The top's really sweet. Need to get a patch or something on the other side. I'm sort of reluctant to toss that top out for that. I had a piece of tape over it, and probably that would even work, but I think maybe the upholstery shop might be able to stitch something in there. And I don't know, what do? You can't replace that whole top for that little cut. But I did pick some stuff up at the store yesterday. I was going to throw some stuff on here, but I'll try to sell it first before I use this stuff. I'll just keep it in stock for something else. I picked up some BRM replicas. Those come with the caps and the valve stem down in the box. Opened all those and checked them out. I did buy some brakes for the car. I bought some German wheel cylinders. There's a bag of those over there somewhere, and then some pads. Picked up some sun visors for it, and I picked up an 09 distributor. And what else is in there? There's a few other shifter down in there, and some felt for the Nova. Then a set of plug wires. Apparently Bosch is no longer going to make plug wires, is what Triangle informed me. And they have a few sets of the Type 3 part number left, and he can take the ends off and cut them to length. They're a little long, and of course the coil wire will be long if you don't recrip the end on there and shorten that. So that was bad news. If he had like 10 or 15 sets, I was just going to buy them, but he doesn't have any. So here's the motor. I got a little better look at that. The case has been split. This thing's pretty new. You can see the case is pretty clean. And then when I got underneath it the other day, it's got fairly new push rod tubes on it. They're clean. The heads are pretty decent. It's got a 30 millimeter pump in it. That's not factory. Somebody put that in. And then it's got some new hardware and stuff on the oil relief valves. So I haven't popped the valve covers off. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the strainer out and drain the oil out of it, at least change the oil, adjust the valves, and pull the plugs out, fog the cylinders with a little lubricant, and rotate the motor a couple times, put some new plugs in there, and then we'll try to start it. This thing's pretty complete. It's got the heater still hooked up. It needs some axle boots. Here's the rust spot. It's it looks pretty bad, but that's not in a bad spot, to fix. It's just a flat piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that, because that looks pretty hideous, just somebody that doesn't know how to fix it. It's got a fairly new muffler on it. You can see the clamps are fairly new. So somebody's done some service work. Excuse me. On this, obviously this distributor is not too old. The plug wires are new. They're 7 millimeter ultra copper. I don't know what brand they are. They got shitty ass aluminum connectors, so we'll replace those with the Bosch. And the generator doesn't look too old. That's a 6 volt, and the carburetor looks like it was rebuilt also. So I'll go ahead and pull this off of that. I'm going to pull the gas tank off. Then I'm going to replace all this fuel line because it's lost its elasticity. See how it's loose on the pump. There's no clamps on a Volkswagen. Just the German hose sort of grips the fitting. And once the hose gets old, even though this hose, you can see it says Germany right on it there, but age and gas causes this is from the alcohol and the fuel. What it does is it swells the rubber up, and then the hose pops off and the car catches on fire. So I've actually just now lately started putting clamps, to prevent it, because the hose will be in excellent shape. You'll visually look at it, and it's, the braid's nice, it's not frayed, and it's pretty much everywhere. It's not just on that pump. You can see it's not that tight. It should take a little more effort than that to get the fuel line off. And you can see the hose is just very swollen in there from the alcohol. You can almost smell the alcohol in the bad gas now. Bad gas used to look more like lacquer for furniture. Now it's I don't know, it's a different animal. So let me get going on this. Figured I'd just make a little video this morning. That battery's way too tall. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do there, because if I don't sell it and I keep it, and I'll put a 2110 in here, and I'll have to be changed over to 12 volt for sure. But I'll keep this 40 horse if somebody wants it. It's got some really original stuff on it. You can see the return spring on the throttle cable there. Most people chuck that. You don't really see those too often. And it's an early model motor for sure, but it looks pretty complete. And see how it runs here in a minute. I'll get the valves adjusted, drain the oil out, and we'll do that. Well, let me pull his head out. See, that's what happens. My mind wanders. Start doing 100 different things, and then boom! Hey, you forgot to get me that cylinder head. So we got to find a bad one. I gave this other guy a head, or 2 heads, or 3 heads. I don't know. He's gonna do some machine work for me. But like most people that try to do machine work on Volkswagens, once they get that Volkswagen head in front of them, they start thinking that it's something magical, and they feel the need to charge $1 million to work on it. And he wanted $250 to fly cut a cylinder head. So I got the old phone out. I keep a chart on my phone of CB Performance machine rates, and they charge $15 a hole to cut the head. So when local machine shops ask why would you ship something, that's why, because you guys are totally out of line with what you charge. I can send it to California, and they cut Volkswagen heads all the time, and it'll be perfect. There's no bullshit. They don't call me 100 times on how to set the head up, and they don't charge me $250. And I know when they do it, I won't get a phone call. I'll just get the part back fixed. So it's always worth shipping it, man. As bad as I want to say it, there's only a few places around here that can do machine work, and it's less than lustered. I had a case line board. I had 2 of them line board. I made the mistake of getting 2 done at once, and I'm afraid they might have just totally wrecked them. The cutter was wandering off through the middle of the cut, and the bearings fit so loose, I ended up having to take the front bearing off and put the split bearing up there to even get it tolerable. But that was the motor that failed on the South Carolina trip. But here's the head here. We'll get it in the box, or I'll find a shittier one. That's a one that can be rebuilt, I think. I'll find you one here in the pile. Like I said, I had a nice crappy one, brand new head. Here's one that's been fly cut. I probably won't use that unless there's a pair. That's the match to that one. I don't know what you're doing with it, but hopefully you don't care if it's a single port or a dual port. There's a nice single port for you. Vintage. Nice. Nice shape though. But I don't build too many single ports, so that's probably the easiest one to get rid of for me. Alright guys, I'm gonna get out here, keep cleaning. Kept you guys bored for a few minutes now. If you made it to the end, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and try to be nice. Oh, let me show you one other thing. Hey, John, are you laughing? Picked up some tools for the kid so he could do his motor. He had some deeper bolts that my stretch gauge wouldn't fit in, so you know he got crazy on the jeg site. He picked up this, which is pretty sweet. I think it's under 80 bucks. It's a stretch gauge. These are some of the basic tools you would need if you want to, you know, build any kind of motor, any kind of consistency. Here's a dial bore gauge. Just dropping shit everywhere. This is pretty sweet. I've been using the telescopic gauge, and you know you can't really check cylinder run out with that. You can get an idea of where you're at, but this is pretty cool. You can check the bearing run out. This is a 2 to 6 inch, so it's pretty versatile. And all jeg stuff was pretty reasonable on the price. Of course, it's from China, but the quality's good. That's not an oxymoron. You know, it's pretty decent. Bought a new ring grinder. My wheel got broke, and I couldn't find a wheel for my brand anymore. And then I got this parallel dial indicator bridge, so you can do his deck height and find top dead center. So I should get them going. Ordered some feeler gauges. They should come in to check the piston and wall clearance. You know, you can check it with the dial bore gauge and all that stuff, but you know, the old-fashioned way is pretty cool too. So trying to teach them all the different methods that I know. But anyway, let me shut this off, let you guys get to your video, and go out there and push the record button. Try to have a great day. And I just wanted to address one subscriber. And you know, you guys have been my subscribers for a long time, and I value your opinions and stuff, but sometimes, you know, you got to remember when somebody spends the money to buy something, it's pretty much their prerogative to do how they want to do it. And some people got pretty nasty over the purple and not keeping this car original. And Andrea emailed him back, of course, and I just don't like, you know, hitting the wasp's nest too much. But original's cool if that's what you like. I happen to not be the original kind of guy. You know, I'm not an original type of guy. I feel personally in my heart that even though I work on a lot of stock Volkswagens, I feel that they're very dangerous in stock form. And what I mean by that is they're not safe to drive on today's highways. They don't run the correct speed. They don't stop well enough. The original bias ply tires aren't acceptable. The shocks are sort of shaky. And I like to fix all that stuff. You know, maybe some Coney shocks, maybe some better wheels, maybe some better tires, more power, better brakes. Make sure everything's going to stop and go like it's supposed to. So when people bring a car here, I guess they're looking for something completely different than just stock. You know, they want to be able to drive their cars, and I take a lot of pride knowing that my customers drive their cars. They get up on the interstate, they go to South Carolina, and they actually drive their Beetles. So a lot of people work on Beetles, but not a lot of people have Beetles that actually travel to different states and commute. So I think I pretty much back up what I do with these videos. You know, we'll build motors together, we put them in the bus, we drive everywhere, and if it doesn't work, I'll tell you guys, hey, that blew up. And that's happened one time over the 5 years that we've been building motors together. And I just explained what happened with that. You know, the machine work was shitty, and that's what happens. Plus, we had the jet fall out of the carburetor, and we just drove it to get to South Carolina. So, you know, I knew I was going to damage the motor, and I really didn't care. I don't like walking. I know my stuff's good enough that I can drive it with no jets in the carburetor, and it'll make it at least to the exit. And not only did it make it to the exit, but it made it to the show. We fixed it and drove it home. So, hey!
Gee, at least I'm somewhat dressed.
Well, you want to be coming out here naked today?
No. Ronnie wants to know if you wanted him to come for a couple hours and help me move the cars and stuff around. This morning I told him no because it was really cold.
Yeah, I need help moving the cars around for sure.
I'll tell him to come.
All right, guys, let me get the day started. You guys try to make the best of it, and remember, just try to be a little nice. And the other thing to remember is if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be making these videos. And you know, when Humpty Dumpty got all his bones broke his neck, broke his back in 3 places, and you know, shattered his arm and broke his hip, they wanted to put me in an old folks home, and she dragged me home and took care of me, and that's why I'm still here. I believe that in my heart. So try not to be too hard on my wife, even if she wants her car purple, but at least she doesn't want it pink. So that's a good thing. You guys have a good day, and make the best of it.